YouTube, Auto here. We are doing a brig build. This is, I think this is the brig. Let's see if it is. Yes. This is the brig from the previous video that had like super armor and just a bunch of heavy cannons in the front. I told you it was going to come back to the base there and get stripped down. Well, it's been stripped down. I did a bunch of recipes. It's got the mythical decks on it now. You can see. It's got the high-end side panels here. See them here. So we've been working on this off and on today and started it yesterday, kind of built it up because it did look like this one. This one over here is ready too. She's just not built out yet. She's got the same side panels. While it was down, I painted the frame, same thing with that one over there. And so here you can see 10,007. So yeah, she's all ready. I have parts for this one too. We're just not working on it yet, working on this one over here. Galleon started over there. That's just my cruiser schooner, and this over here is, it is an overly heavy fast attack craft schooner. 16 cannons in the rear, 16 cannons in the front, 5 on each side, fully armored, 1 layer. Although it's very fragile, I'll say that. It turns awesome. It's very quick, even though it's pushing its weight limit. You know, for getting its 80 percentile to be able to do what it needs to do. But it constantly needs repairs. I notice when I go out and I fight ships of the dam, and not lobies, like I'm fighting level 30 to 40 ships of the dam with that thing. And it's an awesome schooner, without a doubt. But it has a considerable amount of upkeep in all the panels. I notice when it gets hit by cannonballs, it's like an AoE. I don't know if it's because I only fight yellows and reds. I pretty much ignore the greens for the most part and shoot right by them. But it will splash in here. Okay, it will splash in here and hit these panels and the walls, and like after a battle, every single thing on it needs repaired. It's really a pain in the butt. But I just didn't experience that with the brig, the heavily armored brig. The heavily armored brig, the only damage was on the outside of it. This one is different. I think also because it's running mediums, it has to get closer. And so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it's like with the new ones, especially with all the buffs. I did some cannon testing earlier and noticed that the mediums were only doing like 500 and I'm ballparking 500 and 80th damage or so to the panels here on this ship, because I hit them with those cannons there. And this one here, the large cannon was only doing like 700 and something. And so the cannons are doing a lot less damage. So that means while we take less damage, I also believe, and I haven't been out yet to verify this, the ships of the dam are also going to take less damage, which means more cannonballs, more ammo. It's not necessarily a bad thing. People aren't going to be losing their ships and everything as fast. It's actually going to make PvP and stuff like that a whole lot more interesting. So yeah. So I've counted these up so far. I'm trying to keep track of my counts. Right now the sides are running 18 pieces. This little pillar here holding this medium cannon along with its ramps and all is 10 pieces. Same thing on the other side. The top deck and ramps are... Let's see what I had saved here. They are rear deck, 18 pieces. 8 rear deck ramps and door. 8 pieces. 1, 2 right there. And we're running our door here. Although I did change these. I changed these. So I need to count these now. Before, this was the side. Now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 8 more pieces. What do I want to call that? I'm going to call that... I'm punching it in on like Windows nodes over here. 8 pieces. Rear side armor. That's what we're going to call it. There we go. There's 8 pieces. We do have several pieces down here. I'm not replacing them with these pieces here until I know it's pretty much permanent. And so I'm pretty sure that for this build, I'm gonna run this permanent. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's really hard to say because there's 9,001 builds you can do on these things. So I do like the door being in the rear there. Oh, however, the sucky part is yeah, I'm flying now. I have admin rights, but it makes it easier moving around the ship while I'm building. The pain with this is you can't get out here. Okay, you can come in this way, you know, with here, and if you ever come in, if you have tanks or whatever, and you put them on the ship in the back, they're all going to appear right here on the deck, which is fine. And I like the rear entrance like that. Plus, I like keeping... I purposely set the guns farther back here. That line there is where the large are going to go. I purposely set those farther back because a lot of times when you're running or turning or whatever, I notice this whole rear area of the ship just gets hit a lot. And I didn't want that to be where the cannons were sitting. And so I wanted it to be a relatively... disposable area, if there is anywhere on your ship that's disposable, but I wanted it to be an area that could be hit and not to worry about it. But we are going to put it there so that you can get into the ship there. These side guns here are set up special. They are for explosive barrels and bar shot. And they're there because I didn't want to waste the space there, and the space is going to be there all day. And so I could have put large on there, but really I wanted some utility, and I believe the explosive barrels and the bar shot is going to give that some utility. And you could run the whole rear deck mediums, you know, guys, if you wanted to. It's definitely going to drop your weight, but I'm not going to run it that way because I want the punch of the large, even though they have the weight. I'm not too worried about that a whole lot. I'm not going to run a ton. The guns that are going on here, I think they're over here. Yeah, it's these right here. I just crafted these. These are the best ones I've ever found. I think these are going to go in the front. I think I'm going to run some of these 200-ish here on the rear. And so while I'm only putting 6 back here, it's going to be the equivalent to, you know, 12-ish or so. So it's going to help a lot. I know in the previous brig I ran, and I'm still questioning it because the previous brig had 9 in the front. If you check the video, it had 9 in the front, and it hit well. It did take quite a bit of damage, although it could put out a lot of damage. It was very impressive for what it had. But that was before the latest patch where they changed all your cannonballs and stuff are going to do a whole lot less damage. And so you're going to have to fire pretty much twice as many rounds to do the same amount of damage that you used to do, which I'm fine with. I think I'm thrilled that players' ships and stuff are going to survive longer. I really think we should have had that from the beginning. Because in any game you ever play, all you have to check is DPS out, health of what's being hit. You know what I'm saying? Put the two together and boom, you're going to know approximately how long the fight's going to last when people get clear shots. And before, when Atlas released, you could melt panels. I checked it. You could melt panels off of the side of a schooner. 3 hits from a medium cannon would knock off a panel from a schooner. 4 hits if it was a brig. Okay? And that means 8 hits on a galleon for 1 panel. And that's on a galleon, but you get over here to the brigs and the schooners, they're just melting right off. And so now, hopefully, with the resistances and stuff they recently got, the buffs they got, it's going to really slow it down, which is really good to me. Oh man, these rear cannons are tripping me out. See, because I know I can double up the armor back here if those cannons are not there. Maybe that's why I have that one. And maybe I'll build that one up different than this one here and just follow through with this build. And because what I was just thinking is I could actually make, I could make that a large. I could make that a large. And I would have 8 large in the back, which is, with the numbers I have, that's the equivalent of 16 plus large in the back. Which sounds pretty awesome. However, these guys are not going to be, you know, slouches by any means. These side cannons are going to be pretty awesome. I have this here. I crafted like every recipe I had with these guns that were any good. See here? All these. That's my monster that I got there. That is like, I got one. But it's the equivalent of pretty much 4.7 medium cannons. And so it's, I don't know where it'll go yet, but it's, you know, it's going to hit really good for that cannon. However, I don't have any large nearly as awesome. The large cap out at like 220, 225. And now I'm second guessing these side guns. So I'm going to go quiet a while, guys, and just contemplate on this. I'm not going to speed build this because, quite frankly, I don't like speed builds. I've watched them on YouTube and stuff, and they go by so fast sometimes I'm like, what the heck was that? You rewind it, watch it, and you're still like, what the heck was that? And so I don't want to do that. I'm going to go through this nice and easy. And if you guys want to speed the video up when you watch it, you can. It's totally up to you. But all right, y'all. I'll get back on if there's anything else noteworthy to say that you can't just see. These cannons here are only placeholders. They are not permanent, so don't sweat that. Yeah, they're just placeholders. I can't have too many pieces on the ship, so I need to put these down so that I don't take too much room. I could have just shoved them all on top of each other, but it's just getting them down so that the pieces are accounted for. That's all this is about. That works for me. Get them down. Like that. I mean, it works, obviously, but it's so... I feel like it's so tight. But I'm also someone who builds with 2 stories instead of 1. I don't like 1 story. It feels, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm claustrophobic or whatever. But taking that castle right there, or the start of a castle, the bottom floor is 1, which actually no, the bottom floor is it's 2. The middle floor, which is for something specific, is 4, and the top 2 floors are both 2. I don't build single floors; they're just too tight. So anyhow, these cannons are just placeholders. And that cannon, that does not need replaced. It's actually painted. It's the paint color. I like it a lot better. The ship's getting painted when it's all done, so... yeah, those cannons are just placeholders. That's all they represent. I should do the same in the front, just so they're down. I have no idea when I'm going to run out of pieces. I actually lost count. I have to recount the outer shell, this whole center section. It's really a pain to try to count these things. Sometimes it's a lot easier. Here's what I can tell you. Last I checked, it was like in version 18.6 or something. Brigs can take 419 pieces, which is why I had this done up. This right here. You can see right here, 3 decks, 12 gun ports, which is your side planks, 28 body planks, 1 helm, 1 lieutenant podium. I'll explain the lieutenant podium later. I pretty much don't even build a ship without one, and you guys will understand later, especially if you're PvPers and you run with buddies and stuff. It makes so much sense. 1 bed. Obviously, PvP, you're going to run 2, 3, 4 beds, whatever. But these are the bare minimums. So no matter what you do with your planks, you're going to have 40 planks. Even if you run 40 regulars and maybe you put your guns on the top deck, you can do that. You can run a tighter pattern that way. But you're still going to use 40. So that's the point here with these here. 1 bed, 1 resource box. That's where you code your resources. You pay your crew from it, blah, blah, blah. 1 ammo box. If you position your ammo box centrally, you can reach the whole ship. So that's what I do with mine. 1 food larder, same thing, centrally located, fits everybody. 3 cabinets, and I run that. You see what it says: 2 emergency, 1 captains, fully loaded. That means they have all the weight in them that they would really have if you were really using them. That doesn't mean put a cabinet on your ship and leave it empty, because we all know when we start using them, it's not going to be empty. My approximate is your captain's cabinet is going to have probably between 100 to 200 pounds of weight in it, with armor, guns, gliders, grenades, etc. All the various stuff you put in, probably 100 to 200 pounds, give or take. A figurehead, it's optional. If you like the figureheads, run with it. If you don't, drop it. 3 sails. I don't know how you guys run it. You could run 4 sails. I think you can run 2 large, a medium speed, and a small handling. And the point is, some of you don't like to run 3 speed. You want the handling. Personally, for me, I don't care. The handling sail, does it help? Yes. Is it help worth using it? In my opinion, no. It's very minimal. So I'm not even going to waste that. I would rather have all the speed I can get out there. So I'm only going to run 3 sails instead of 3 or instead of 4. You're going to have 6 medium cannons on your left side if you run default, 6 on the right. Obviously, if you run regular planks for your gun ports and you put your guns on the top decks, you could have any number of them. Fill these in with whatever your number is. The point is, when you're done here, you're going to have 68 pieces with your figurehead. Okay? 67 without it. So most people, at least what I consider a bare minimum, this is before you start building everything else onto the ship, you're going to have a minimum of 67 pieces already burnt. That means you'll have 352 pieces left. 351 if you took the figurehead. So yeah, I will probably run with the figurehead. I like them, and hopefully they put out some more cool ones, and I'll run with one. So that means I'll have 351 pieces left. Now what we need to keep in mind here is we have 12 cannons in the front, 12 cannons in the rear. Actually 8 in the rear because we have the 2 side left and right wings with the mediums. So that's 14. So I will have to deduct that off of these. And so far you can see the pieces I have here. Let's see here. What do we have now? This was before building the front and building all down the center. And you guys watched all that. So that was 18 plus 8 plus 8 plus 36 plus 10 plus 18 plus 10 plus 18. Okay, that's 126. So I don't know what we put down the center yet. And I did lose track of a few pieces here, but if I just real general, this was a bare bones in the front when I counted it. When you go back to here, here, where is it? I think I added it. 18 rear deck, 8 rear deck ramps and door. Okay, 8 rear side armor, 36 rear shell. That was a guesstimate on that. I don't think it was dead on. It may be a couple pieces off, but it's pretty close. Everything on the starboard side and the port side I add up separately. What I noticed here is I don't have the front nosed construction, so that needs to be completely counted all in and of itself. And it's quite a few pieces, as you can see here. All these here that are painted hard red all the way, they are structurally, what's the word? They're key critical pieces, okay? If they get blown out, big pieces can start coming off at once. And so I paint them red so that when I'm doing repairs, I know to check them first. That's how I run things. And that's not a PvP, no, I'm sorry, that's not a PvE setup, that's a PvP setup. I watch too many channels where people are running around PvPing. Guys, you put your cabinets down here, paint them red, put them in the central location so everyone knows where they're at. If you have gun ports and regular ones, you should have 2 to 3 times more planks in it for the gun ports than you do the regular planks. Down here in the very bottom, all you need is regular planks, centrally located. Fill it full of regular planks. The way I run it is, you'll see as the video goes, it's going to be a long video, but I put I put buckets, and I put repair hammers, and I put grappling hooks, and I put spy pieces. I have a set amount of equipment I put in every cabinet that is marked red. That is so that there's no confusion. You know, if you send one of your crewmen down to repair the bottom deck, they don't have to hunt. They know to go to the red cabinet, okay, grab the repair hammer, right, grab the planks if you're missing a plank, run out, pop, 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 boom, hammer, 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 done, next floor. You shouldn't, you know, unless you're really hammered, you shouldn't spend more than, you know, maybe 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes on a floor. And that's including running around. You can repair your gun ports and stuff, obviously, after they're done, the timer's expired, and you can repair them, but I see lots of people on various channels running around trying to find what's where, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're going to get sunk because they're not prepared. So prepare, guys. Prepare ahead of time. Yeah, I like this design here. I did this like this, obviously, on purpose, because I want it, when these are all done, and I'll have to rip all this up in order to put the final ones in because I put them in a certain way, but these will all be covered. Yeah, they should be able to be covered. They're actually set back too far. When you actually set them in here for real, you want the front of your legs to the front of the line, okay? It's real precise, and the reason you do that is because you can cover them all the way. You can go your full angle all the way up when you're shooting, and they barely clip the front edge of the roof. And so they're pretty much, they get, I would say, at least 70% protection that way. If they're hit from any direction other than straight rear, they're sound, they're good. And I protect my cannons as much as I can because they're important, and while they do have health, unless I run out of pieces, you know. So, okay, so what do we have here? Let's, how in the world do I even begin to freaking count this? Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's going to be 11 down the other side, not 12. So it's going to be 23, right? Now we got to count the floors. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, so we're going to say 37. We're going to say 37 center and front armor shell. Alright, now let's count the other pieces. This red piece was counted with these other sides. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then those there. Okay, 12 pieces. And we're going to call that the front cannon. We'll just call it the tower. Front cannon tower. There we go. Okay, so before we know we had, what was it, 126? Yeah. Plus, we just added 37 plus 12. 175. So we should be sitting like gold still. However, we've not counted cannons yet, and we're not done. So again, this is going to be. There we go. Let's just throw these in here real quick. Start it like that. Maybe that'll center them better. I'm not really sure how to center these. There. I'm not used to running 6. I was used to running more than that. But we can't run that anymore, so. Alright. Okay, that works for me. That's the 6. So we don't have a door on us. So we're gonna just leave that open. We know the piece is gonna go there. I'm thinking PvP when I build this, which is why I'm trying to enclose things. No one can get in down these sides, and so the weight is probably going to be stupid. Okay, we're at just shy of 6,900 right now. The weight is real. If you guys didn't notice, with this latest patch, large cannons show up in your inventory as 98 pounds, medium cannons show up as 70 pounds, but when you put them on your ship, they're full weight. So don't get confused and think the cannons are going to be lower weight when you put them on the ship. They're not. They're only lower weight in your inventory. So at least at this time in 18.84, that's where they're at. So right now we are at 6,900 pounds. However, that's not accurate weight. It's not accurate weight because I did pre-place these down here so they would be accounted for. I didn't put the cabinets on here yet. Yeah, the cabinets aren't on here. I should have just laid 3 out so that they'd be accounted for. This thing is loaded. This thing has way more than it needs in it. It has, look, there's 2,000 pounds of stuff in here. It's not gonna, I don't usually run that much. The cannonballs are probably, they're too light, but maybe between the two they'll balance out. Y'all know with cannonballs doing less damage per hit, we're going to have to carry more. So yeah, that's just what we're going to be expecting. Let me see if I can get those. If I can get those large storage boxes on here. Okay, so the way I run them is I would run, and I'm just going to throw these in here, okay? They're not, these are not exact. None of this is exact. And they're just being put here as placeholders. 1, 2, 3, good. And I should probably do the same for these side cannons so that they're accounted for. And we need 12. Alright. Again, these are just placeholders. I haven't decided if I may change that entire upstairs. I may open that up some and put these up there and do something else with it, or I may leave it this way and call this one the oh man, our weight's gonna go up. Well, we'll see where we're at. I know the weight's gonna go up because we're dropping all these cannons on here. This was 1,200 pounds in itself, but luckily for a brig, you can put, you know, points into weight so that it helps you. Okay, we are at 74.13 in weight. I don't have the right one equipped. That's just to keep things straight. And for those that don't know how to run this sprayer, right-click mouse and then press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to disable, enable. Okay, that's how they work. So we do 2 of these so we know those are emergency for both floors. And then we have that one there. What I end up doing usually is I put the captain one, I put it up here on this deck. Okay, it'll go here somewhere. So it's easily accessible for the first floor. And if I have any pieces like this I want to put in it, if I want to put roof pieces in it, if I want to put floor pieces in it, if I want to put wall pieces in it, I'll just put them right in there. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of room in here, and you can easily get to this cannon. If there's an NPC on it, you know, you can, or if a player wants to use it, whatever. I usually leave these open because they're still 5,000 HP, whether they're a doorway or whether they're a solid wall. I like to leave it open so it's easier to repair for those. And this side didn't get its walls put back up, so I need to do that. Oops, I make that one solid so that it actually helps protect. That's in there wrong. Yeah, because if we get shot, if it punches through, I don't want it punching through. Come on, flip. It won't flip. Oh well. Might just leave it. I'll try this. See if this helps. Spinning gears doing nothing. No. It's gonna stay there. Looks like that's the way it's gonna go. Okay, 5. Alright. And we know that these are considered structural pieces. Primary pieces you don't want blown out, so you paint them so that you know, or you can remember them, you know. I mean, if it catches on, whatever, for other people, that could potentially be a problem. They would just be like, blow out the ones that are red, you know, and everything else crumbles. And that's because I don't put 1,000 braces inside here. Because what you're going to find is in most battles, you don't need 1,000 braces in here. The way the braces are shaped in these designs, they cut down like this and like this. They're not doing much of anything other than supporting the weight. Now, obviously, you don't want like one of these blown out and then over here one of these blown out. Well, actually, it doesn't matter now because they're all connected to the uppers. The more pieces they're connected to, the more safe they are. However, I will put in 2 more braces. I generally run 4 braces down each side. So that's more standard for me. Yeah, so. But before I usually work inside, I don't care if the inside is relatively bare. This was temporary. This was just working some stuff earlier. So I'm actually going to leave it there so that it is accounted for. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. You can't get in these. I don't think even if you come out here and you drop down like this. Yeah, even if you press C. Yeah, see, they're too tall. Like, you can't get in there. So, and I'm thinking like PvP, you know. Someone could jump on here and potentially shoot down through here. Okay, you can't stop that unless you put up... you could put up a wall or something in here. Okay. You could put a back wall here, across here, make this a doorway in, across here, across there, so it's self-contained. So you come in here and there'd be a locked door, whatever, you know. You got open and close, whatever. And if you don't like this, because it's actually, you know what, I actually don't like it, so I'm going to switch it now. I will not run with that like that. It is just... I don't like it there like that. I would rather have it like this. We'll see what we can do with this. I believe you're going to use the same amount of pieces. Truly, I think you're going to use the same amount of pieces, and so if you want it moved, just change where you're putting your pieces. I don't like it like that. It's just too tight to me. I want more breathing room in there. Yeah. That'll work out well because we'll see what we can do here. I think we got to do something like this. Yeah, just like that. We'll blow this one out. A square's a square. It doesn't matter what piece you put in there. Your count's going to be the same. Yeah, let's do that. And then do this here. There. And we may even use that right there for the podium. For the lieutenant, it might go right there. I generally like to put him top center around one pair of the guns of some sort. So yeah, that's exactly what we want right there. And we're gonna do that, or do we want to do this? How do we do this? No, that would have been the old one. Maybe it's gonna use more pieces. I didn't think it would, but we can do that. Maybe am I doing these wrong? Okay, I mean that's it's a little better, but it's not quite what we want. I don't know, we'll see what we get here. I don't want to... What the heck did I do before? Why did this... That's not complicated at all. But that's what we were looking for. Now we just gotta fix these. Wait, was that the right one? The wrong one? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, there we go. All that so that we could get... Okay, see, I like that a lot better because now when you're in here... Oh, did I just... Oh, stand up. There we go. That's so much better. You actually have room in here. You're not smothered. And there's plenty of room in here if you want to throw some crew with some swivel guns. Yeah. I did that for quick, easy access off the wings. You don't have to do it that way. You could pull these out underneath, drop down a ramp behind it, you know, whatever works for you. Pull out a square, drop a ladder straight up it, whatever. It'd probably take up less room. I may actually do that. I like things that are... When you're running swivel guns with like grape shot and stuff in here, like maybe back in here, maybe two back in here, one over there, and another will set running this way to that entrance. you know, or maybe some over here or something to cover that entrance. Usually wherever the entrances are, I try to cover. I actually thought about making this an entrance, and you could come down in here, and the other same thing on the other side. But your doors naturally have 4,000 HP instead of 5, and so they're generally a weak point. So I tried to keep it minimal right there. You can do it however you want. I do sometimes do that. Punch that out, make it a door, and make this a door too, and seal it off, so that when you're coming down through, you have to be able to get through both doors in order to get down in. I'll probably do the same thing here and the same thing back here, just because you never want it to be easy to get into your place. Another big mistake I see a lot is people leaving doors wide open. Yeah, the enemy got into your lower deck of your ship because your guys are running around so freaked out that they're leaving doors open. You got to shut doors. And that's not getting down on anyone. It's just saying I can't count how many times I've seen someone run through a door and just leave it wide open. Mostly on, you know, all the PvP videos and stuff I watch online and whatnot. And it's like, guys, shut your doors. You would have probably 3/4 less enemies down in your ship if you just shut your doors. Whatever it is, the 2 seconds isn't going to make a difference. Probably far safer if you just shut the doors. Okay, so these took the same amount of pieces. We just finagled them around, so we're not going to change counts on that. This one here will probably do the same. We'll probably bring it down in here and cover it. I'm not really sure how I want to do this yet. I don't usually go straight all the way down in. That's not usually how I do it. And in fact, I want getting down in there to be, I'm not going to say painless. It needs to be efficient, but at the same time, it needs to have security. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we get. I don't know what we're going to get yet. I usually work on the inside last. In the length of this video, it may even be in a different video. I may stop this one and go to the other. Okay, where are we at for weight? We are at 7582. Not bad considering all the cannons are on it. But you know what we don't have? Let's just jump in here real quick. No, that's not fair. Wouldn't open the gun ports. I don't know why, but whatever. We'll open them. We gotta account for all the weight, so there goes the weight. She's going up now. Is it going up? Yeah, it's going up. I don't know why they did it this way. They should have given the ship like a 30% speed debuff with the gun ports open. You know, and to heck with the whole weight thing, it should have just been a consistent 30% speed debuff because of all the wind resistance and wind being sucked in here and really slowing the ship down, kind of fighting the ship to go down the water. So I don't know. I would have done something like that, and I still think they should do something like that. Your gun ports are wide open. You shouldn't be running full speed, because part of your speed is aerodynamics. And the less aerodynamic your ship is, along with your weight, the slower it should be. Okay, but we do have them all open now, so we can account for weight. We have all the cannons on the ship. We are at 8,300 pounds. So that is 1,100 pounds over. I'm not going to sweat that we don't have a lot of cannonballs in the hold right now, because we have a lot of resources sitting in here. Okay, so between the two, we're sitting at like 2,400 pounds. So I'm going to leave that and just call it even. The lieutenant thing needs dropped on here. All this is just to see what we can get. I lost count, so... Okay, it was this one here. We'll take these. Oh, hold up. While we're doing it, let's grab this. Let's grab this. We already have one of those on. We already have that. We already have that. We already have these. Okay, so everything in here was put in here the way that it was as temporaries. None of this is final yet because it's really all about the build before you do the final. What I may even do is build the final over there. I may do that because this is kind of like the mock-up, if you will. I like those, so we're going to use it. Okay, we're going to place this. And I know some of you would like, maybe we'll even do this. I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going to put it up here. Oh, you can't. Too far above. That's right, you can't be that far above. But that works. And I'm actually going to, I think on this one I'm going to put the helm like in here somewhere. I know some of y'all, actually a lot of people like the helm farther back, but notice where the camera swings. The camera swings wherever you're at. And so if your camera's far in the back when you are maneuvering, okay, especially if you are under the gun and you are under a lot of pressure in a PvP fight, the front of your ship is, I can't see it now because it won't let me go into the water line, but the front of your ship is what is going to hit things first. So you want your camera as close to the front as you can get comfortably so that you can see what you're going to hit. That is why they allow the camera to go under the water line like that. You need to be able to see so you don't run into stuff. Okay, and then you can circle around here, and I do it all the time when I'm captaining so that I'm not running into stuff. And if your camera's in the front, see, because you know what happens if you put your camera way back there and you try to come up front here, you're going to run out of camera. You're going to hit the very front of your ship. A brig is the length of your camera zoomed all the way out. And so what happens is if you're in the back, you can barely get to the front. You can't see out in the water very far to see what you're going to run into. But if you put your helm up front somewhere, then you can see what you're going to run into before you ever run into it. And you can even see farther out, so you can see what's coming before you run into it. So I'm moving, I've been doing this for quite some time now. I'm probably going to move the helm like right in here somewhere. And yeah, I like the podium here. Why do I run a captain's podium? The captain's podium can do two things that will help you in combat. One, the captain does not have to run the guns. We don't want to rename it. We want to do this. Notice group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The captain can run the ship while the lieutenant's podium runs the guns. Okay, there's the back gun. There's actually group 6. There's the back gun. Cancel, click again. There they are. There's my side guns. They're set up on different groups so that I can run them independently and I'm not shooting into my own ship because one shot is on and the other one is not. So yeah. I'll explain how to use all those probably in some other video, but for now, oops, I hate that too. That raises the anchor. Lower anchor. Okay. So that is the, oh, I'm sorry. There's one other thing the lieutenant's command podium can do. And I would show you if I had them set up, but they're not set up. The command podium can also move sails. So if your captain wants to steer the ship and fire guns, and your lieutenant can command your sails, okay, so that they're always staying right on point where you want them. Or your lieutenant can fire guns and or sails if you want, okay, and the captain just steers the ship. However you do it, I recommend that whoever is steering, whoever's at the helm, the other person in the lieutenant's platform is running the sails. Y'all know it's too hard to keep your sails dead on point while you're steering the ship. You always have to waste a few seconds to stop steering the ship, flip the sails, and then go back to steering the ship. You can change all that by just using a lieutenant's podium. The things are gold. I love them. They work great. However, I'm not seeing a lot of people use them because I don't think they know how to use them. There we go. I'm a veteran PvPer in a lot of titles, and I have not been PvPing in Atlas. I did it like a little bit, but not on official because the official servers can't take the load. Y'all know it. You've seen it. The lag is ridiculous. I'm not going to fight the lag and opponents. When they fix the servers, then maybe I'll come over. In the meantime, y'all get the benefits of building beauties like this. And have an awesome time. Have a blast with it. I do on other servers, more private servers, my own server and stuff. So, yeah, enjoy it. It's actually, I guess, in some ways, while I'm releasing this, I don't usually release trade secrets on videos on YouTube because I'm not going to feed my enemy. I'm not going to give them the tricks and tips that I learn, which are usually a ton. I'm not going to hand it to them. In this game, I don't mind because I don't play on official PvP. I'm only over there once in a while when I'm talking with friends and stuff. And otherwise, I just, build a lot of this stuff here and I play on other servers. I even PvP on other servers, but they're all private. So I do, however, one of the main things I enjoy in Atlas is building. I build keeps, I build ships, and I'm pretty much a tactician. I analyze numbers, I crunch numbers, and find out what's the best way to do things. However, between family and 5-month-old in the house, and also back in college working on grad, and so it's just real busy. I don't always get the time to be able to do all that. Okay, so now we have to work on the front. And what's nice about the large is they shoot straight. You don't have to worry about building so that your mediums don't turn and shoot into them. And I built this way on purpose because there's a good chance I may put another 6 across the bottom here. And so that's why they're built that way. These are a lot closer to where they will normally be. See how they're all on the front lip? That's where you want them. And here's why. Let's come in here. Let's take one of these in the center. Let's drop down to the ground. Let's raise it up. Alright, there we are, all the way up. Alright, let's just do this one too for the kick. Alright. There we go. I don't know how many times I thought about jumping over into the official PvP and offering my services to one of these clans out there that are cool. Some of y'all just have styles I'm not into. Some of y'all are real cool, and I'd run with you. I've seen plenty of them out there. But here's the point here, okay? And that's just so I don't have to build up fresh for myself. Normally I run clans and guilds, and I do in another game, Star Citizen, but this is kind of giving me some fun while Star Citizen gets built. So you can see here, they're all the way up, and they barely miss it. And so they are clear. That's why you want them on the front edge, down below. The issue down here, and I'll just explain it to you so you know ahead of time. If you build them underneath the deck with the front lip, like right across there, what you're going to find is when you walk up to the cannon and use it, you can't see anything. You're literally going to get... Your view is going to be horrendous. You can't see what you're targeting. You can't see it go out. So I wouldn't recommend them for players, okay? They're not for players. They're for NPCs. They're for the captain or the lieutenant to fire from. However, if you move it forward and you bring it out here in the open and then build up over top of it, however you can, because remember it's below these, so you could technically, and I may even do that, I think that's what I'm going to do, you could extend this out, these 4 here out, okay, and then line these all up here along this edge, right, across here, and then what you would get is you would be able to see, you'd be able to slightly see what you're angling at and stuff underneath here. But again, they're the bottom guns. I'd recommend players using the other ones. Let's see what it looks like though when I go inside, so you can see. No matter if you're on the top deck or the bottom deck, it's going to be. This is what it'll look like. Okay, see, but notice this here. This is on the top deck. Okay, so I can raise and lower this, and you can see what you're doing because you can see above the deck. When you are down here, you cannot see that. When you are down here, what you get is you get to eat this right here. That's what you get. You get this very narrow view, like right in here somewhere, and you can barely even see what's happening here. So I don't recommend it. I recommend you just leave the bottom for NPCs, and if you want to use a cannon, jump on the tops. In reality, unless you have to, I don't really see any reason to even put players on these. You can put NPCs on all of them. This ship has not been equipped with a zillion cannons, mostly because you've seen the cannon I'm running, you know, 200 to 300% cannons. So every one of these is going to be 2 to 3 cannons each. So even though I'm running 6, I'm going to be running between 12 and 18 in, you know, actuality. So that's why I can run so few, and I recommend you guys build them the same way when you build your high-end ships. You know, you can drop your numbers lower, keep your weight good. Okay, let's see where we're at for weight now. We're at 8,300 pounds. That's not bad. That's 6 levels. I think was 6. No, that would be 72, 82. Yeah, that's 6 levels you have to put into weight. I believe brigs get 200 pounds apiece. So in order to stay under your 80 percentile, obviously I'd recommend more than that, but you've only got 6 guns here, 8 guns in the rear, that's 14. So if we take, brigs get 0.8 of a crew per level, so 14 divided by 0.8 equals 17.5, so you have to do 18 levels in crew to cover your crew for your cannons, so that's 18, plus we just said 6 levels in weight, plus 6, so there it is. You've got 24 levels, a level 24 brig. This one over here is monster. I think it's this one, or maybe it's I'll look here. Okay, no, it's the other one I'm in. That one over here, this one over here has already got 42 crew. Okay. She's got no problem whatsoever with crew count. Crew is not an issue. And so if you add 16 to, what do we say, 15, that's 31 crew. She's got plenty of room. Even if you put 6 more across the bottom, that will be 15, no, it's 14. 8 across the rear, 6 across the front is 14, plus 6 more is 20. Plus you normally have 16 to start with. That's 36. We still have 6 more crew we could put elsewhere. You could probably put them on some swivel guns, right? And so if I run it that way. But yeah, this thing's sitting at 83, so she's not bad. Granted, we do have to throw some more pieces on here, so you may end up, but we can go all the way to 84. 8,400 is where we hit the end of that level that we did, and we're still under the 80 percentile. Granted, you don't want to run it that close. I would recommend more levels in weight. But the point is you could totally build this. This is a buildable unofficial. The rear end here, if you notice, it does have triple armor here. Bam, bam, bam. That is a lot right there. That's a lot of layers. Without a doubt, it's a lot of layers. So, however, I will start a second row. What takes a lot of damage is your sides, mostly right here across your center. I recommend doubling that armor up, and so what I do is I do something like this here. Come on. What you're going to do is you're going to do something like that right there, and then you'll run this over here, right there, and then you'll do this here, So that's 1, 2 on the side, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 more pieces to double up your side armor there. And I strongly recommend it. That is an area that's going to get absolutely pummeled, and you really want it taken care of. So we can do that right there. And if you want, you can run these all the way out to here. Sometimes that's exactly what I do. Usually over the gun ports, because you know your gun ports is a prime area that you get targeted, at least by NPCs. Players will hit you wherever, you know, but wherever they decide they want to hit you. But that is, again, another 9 pieces. But we can totally do that easily. Easy, easy, easy. And you could put some more braces in there too if you want. You don't have to, but you could. And you don't have to put them there too. You can put them across the back here if you want. It just, you know, whatever you want to do. I'm just doubling up there before I knew I wanted the sides doubled up like that. I'm really liking the way this is turning out. It's covering the bases I wanted. I wanted it to be a lot sleeker, and this one is a whole lot sleeker. She's still getting the armor too, and I'm thrilled about that. So this is where I have problems. I've been through this earlier today. You can put triangles across here and they'll cut all the way over to here. You can even do this here. You can go one more, okay, and then cut the triangles across. I don't know exactly where it's at in here that you can get away with it with official, but it's somewhere in there. I should do my build on official. I've just been putting it off because I haven't gotten this one done. See, you can do this here. But notice that is a lot of pieces. That's a lot of pieces. I don't like using triangles. I try to stay away from triangles because they take such little room, and there's no way to support them properly. You can try to come in here and support them. This one, I guess, could come all the way back to there, right there, because those cannons are going to be shooting straight. We may actually do that, which means this. What I do in here sometimes is right here. I'll do that, right? And they cover the side tip of the gun. That way the only thing you see poking out is the tip of the gun. Because what's cool about this setup right here, watch. And I really like this because you can put that there, and you can do this in the rear if you want to run a sleeper. That way people just think, oh, you're just running a... See, you can't see what you're doing, but right now I'm scrolling the cannon down. What you do is you cover them. You can't see them. You don't know what's in there. You don't know if they just built their ship that way, or you don't know what's going on. So here we go. But now look, and that one would come down more. I probably just didn't scroll it quite enough. But you can totally have them totally covered. No one even knows what's in there. Until you come across here, you have a guy run out here and pop. The 4 right down here in the middle. Pop, 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 because it only takes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're completely concealed. And you just pull those off. You destroy them, and you know when you destroy them, all that goes right down into your hold, so you're not losing the materials. The materials can still be used. And they're totally concealed until you pull them out and start blowing holes through people's ships. So I really like doing that. A lot of times in the rear, I will run these completely concealed. This will get covered, and these will come down triangled like that, and they'll get totally concealed. And you can't see any of that. Now these have got wing ships, you know, these wing ones in them, and so they're not going to get the corner ones like the others did. These will stay open like this. But this whole center section, you can put a diagonal wall in here, or you could just pull the roof across here and then just put all diagonal roof pieces there and cover them all. Put all their noses straight down, and they'll be totally concealed. But my biggest problem is in here because this right here, watch this. Oh, where'd all my armor go? It's gone. It's gone because one on the right side got busted out and they're not supported by anything. And so that's like, I don't like using the triangles across the front. It's one of the few things that will get you across there that way. If you try to go solid, that's what you get. Like, you don't really get the coverage you want. And I won't do the builds that have the pieces, like before you put up any of your planks, it has the pieces jutting out. Okay, you put triangle pieces up here and up here on the other floor, and you angle them down, and you do all this huge construction of armor around it, and then you put the side planks on. And I won't do that because in order to repair those when they get blown out, you have to come in, pull the plank off, and then put the piece down. Look at these planks. Okay, that's actually one of the weaker ones because of it. I have 4 pieces on here that weren't quite as good as the others. That's one of them. It's 1, 2, and the 2 in the far back, too. Right before the end. Not the very, very end, because that takes a lot of damage, but these right here on the side. Look at these gun ports. 11,000 HP. You're not going to pull those off to put down a 5,000 armor piece. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not rolling in awesome recipes. I have some great recipes, but I burnt a lot of them to be able to go into one of these super brig builds. So I won't burn, like, you know, I've seen on another channel that, you know, his recommendation was to burn the planks in order to replace the piece. And I'm like, that works great when you're running generic pieces. But when you're running high-end recipes, you don't burn planks to do that. So your build has to cover what you need without, you know, without burning planks. So. Okay, so we can keep that there like that. We could run this like that. But then you're not getting full coverage here unless you take this off. And then you could do this. You could put this out square. Oh, just passed it. I thought it would connect there, maybe not. No, it won't. We could run that there. But I don't know how I feel about that because I don't know. I didn't want the front blocked off like this. I don't like the block like that. I wanted the front to be sleeker. And I've left this open so far because when these down here get placed, I want them to be able to clear the rail, and I don't want anything in the way of the rail. I can't build anything above the rail here. This has to be open so that these can shoot out over. However, this needs covered so that someone can't just jump down in here in your ship. And I'm leaving that open for now because I'm probably going to put 6 more across there. Yes, it will put it overweight a lot more, but with the server I'm on and stuff, I can do that. Obviously, with official, you're probably not going to get away with that. But you can easily get away with your 6 mediums across the side and your 6 heavies in the front and your 6 heavies in the rear if you want. And then if they're good recipes, man, they could put a major hurting on something. And it's fully armored. And so, like, to me, I like the brig a lot better than the galleon. The galleon is so sluggish and it takes like 10 miles to turn, even with a handling sail. It's still like, you know, 10 miles. You put a handling sail on it and it's 9.5 miles to turn. You know, it's just crazy. And it takes a whole team, really, to run all that effectively. You can get away with it with a single person or a couple people, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of ship. And For me, I prefer the agility of the brig over that. I can build a brig that will be absolutely awesome, you know, with the right recipes and stuff. This one's going to be absolutely a monster when it's done. However, I may put the final build over here because this one's already been leveled up to 42 crew. I don't know that I need 42 crew. That might just be a hair too many for me. I may redo all this. I may just leave this the way it is and put it over here. And I still haven't decided if I'm going to leave these down here. I may bring them up here. Okay, so this might work for these front pieces that I was saying I didn't like, that I didn't have any way to, I don't want them all falling off if a few get hit, you know, if a few get taken out. So I think that's the answer, is this right here. No, it's probably going to be this one right here. I think I figured out how to put them up here so that they still... Yeah, I might do that. Yeah. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to go where normally like 3 normal wide ones would go. It's crazy. I'm not a fan of these. I wish there was an angle one that you could put on that was more squared. Like these, but that went across. Like even that right there. You see that there, how it's angled like that? Put those two together and make one panel. That I would use. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing over here. Yeah. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's this over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Alright. And that right there is how you keep them from getting ripped off when one gets hit. Now you have to lose... Oh, did I just do that? Oh, come on. hate it when they do that. Okay, so that's how you keep them from falling off. I wonder if I could use the squares. See, that's the problem, is there's no triangles. There's nothing that connects a square to a triangle like that. So you're forced to use the triangles and they burn up so much deck. They burn up so many pieces. But that may work. I don't know if that's going to work with these over the long run. Let's find out. Oh, let's not forget to place the bed. This is just a placeholder bed, but it's got to be on before we run out of pieces. That's what I recommend you guys do, is just build like throwaway units when you're doing these builds. Figure out all the miscellaneous you want to build. I gave you a list in this video so you can just pause it and look at it. Make, use that to help you make your own. And if you want a couple more beds or more cabinets, what I recommend is whatever your count is, come down here in the bottom and just drop that many items sitting down here so that you don't use up your pieces before, you get all those on. Okay, so we're going to throw another cannon here. Let's see what we get. Okay, now I have a way to get these straight. Right there. That's, oops. There we go, let's walk. And usually the heavier you are, the easier it is to calibrate yourself. Because you move less when you push your keys. There. Okay, I figured we'd be close, but that's pretty close. And that's the point, really. But you see, that's the view you get. But that's what I wanted to see is... Okay, that's your minimum right there. And now we can check that by coming over here. Let's change this cannon. It's on group left, but we're going to change it to group. Let's change it to group 6. Back. And then we can shut the front off, turn on group 6. Oh, that's right, we're below deck. When your helm's below deck, you can't do external camera view targeting. Your helm has to be outside, which I really don't understand because I think you should be able to target from inside. It would protect you a lot more, but they haven't allowed that. So, but you can do it here. So let's shut off all these. Turn on that one. I don't have Okay, so that's what you're going to get out of those lower guns with those in the way like that. If I move them, see right now it's green down in there. If you fire it right now, you're going to hit your own ship. And that's what you don't want. And so you have to... That's actually like too finicky for me. You can get your farthest range out of them, that's for sure, but you're not going to get closer shots with them. You're going to have to get ultra range with them. Yep. And you can get a closer shot with them if this was not in the way. This right here is what's hitting. So if we pull this out, there. Now let's go back and see what kind of... Usually I try to go for medium to long range. If I can get medium to long range with the lower deck, that's good. I'm gonna say like right in there somewhere is what I'd like to see. So you got to pay attention to your front, and that's why it's also important that when you lay these front cannons down, be meticulous, be very precise, because if they're off, one of them might be hitting your deck while the others aren't, and all you have to do is, you know, you start shooting the front end of your own ship, and it's not, you know, that's not cool. So that's not bad right there. Okay, let's see what we get here. See, that's not bad. That's not a bad range right there for front cannons. That's like, I'd consider that, you know, range. So you're not going to get closer with the lowers because the deck's in the way. And I have a different build where you bring everything up a half wall. But to be honest, it makes this thing so huge and bulky that it's what I call the heavy attack cruiser. This is your standard attack cruiser. At least for CTS it is. Okay, that's your far. That's how far that bottom is going to shoot. Considerably farther. That shot's considerably farther by quite a bit. So that's what I would call medium to long range. And you know, these are front shots, so this is somebody you're chasing, you know, or somebody you're firing at, you know. When I say chasing, I mean like they're running, and so they're trying to run away, and you can hit them with those large cannons like that. That's usually why I like to run 2 sets, at least in the front, because you can really mess up chasers, you know, chases. You're not hitting them with bar shot, but you're totally messing them up if you're hitting them with those. And these ones here, these 3 or these 6, especially if these are jacked up recipes, you know, if each one's like 150 to 200%, they're absolutely awesome. I miss the 166s that they used to be at default, but we don't have that anymore. They took it away. So these 6 back here will work for me because I'm gonna have the equivalent of at least 12 back here with these. And I could change it if I wanted to take some real far shots. Like I'll show you here before we cut this video. I think I'm gonna close it here after I do a little bit of. I don't know. I might just close it anyways and then come back and do the cannons. We can see that these here are not gonna work. They are gonna conflict with the. You know, they're gonna get in the way of the other cannons. So that's not gonna work. But what will work is, what can we do here? Let's see what we can do here before we close this out. Oh man, they're gonna get in the way too. That's what I thought it was gonna do right there. I don't know, we'll see. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll keep that as is. I'm going to try to run that there. I'm going to go back in and see what we can get for a short range shot with it like that. I'd like to have that in the front, that front band. Okay. Let's see what we get here. Still medium range. It's kind of medium plus range actually, I'd say, for the cannons as a whole. Yeah. It's probably medium plus range. Yeah, that's not too bad. I could probably live with that. I think I'm going to throw another crew though on this. I just want you guys to see the difference between top deck shot and a bottom deck shot. I should put all these in another video, and I probably will, but alright buddy. Use the gun, and then we're going to change this to group. What do we do with that other one? Was it 9? Was it 6? Maybe it was 6. Yeah, there we go. Now we have both guns set to 6. But the difference is you're seeing a bottom and a top deck. So you're about to see the difference in their shots. He's reloading. They pretty much fell right with each other. So minimal difference as far as your long range shots. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do both short range. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we'll go right there. I think it's going to force, yeah, it's going to force it to be lower. But now let's change this. This is why you group your cannons when you have them on different layers like this or different banks. We're going to change this one to group 7. That way the bottom is 7, the top is 6. Okay, and we're not going to run 7, we're just going to run 6. Right there. That's what we get for the top deck for up close. Like right in front of you. You know, which works great. Yeah, that'll probably work. I'll probably put crew or something in the front here and fire guns off this way to cover the defense of this. Maybe cover the rest of this with a roof right here. Seeing as how it's all kind of... Now it's covered. Down in there, that's what we want. So, and now you can safely put crew down in here and put them on guns, so that if anyone drops into here, not only is it not going anywhere, which you could totally cover up these sides, obviously, because you don't want them getting up through here. And I believe we probably have at least 50 or so more pieces to go. And so you can totally, and maybe not, maybe we don't have that many, but I do want these extended out. There we go. Now we have double armor down both sides, and that's what we want. And you can do double armor across this front clip, and I'll show you how real quick. You just put a half wall here, like that, and actually, all you really have to do is with one of them, you just have to make sure that one doesn't get torn out of your half wall. And it can be a little risky using half walls because they have half the HP as every other thing. And you could do this though too. I want to do that. I don't know if it'll let me. No, it won't. Okay, that'll work. Probably don't want to go out that far. You do not want anything interfering to make it out. I consider the top deck mains. Maybe take this one out. Let's see what we can put in there to cap that off. Maybe we just do one of these. Maybe we just close it like that. It covers most of your side. Although I'm going to try something different on this side. I'm going to put a half wall here. Let's try that. And I realize you lose that coverage, but I think you cover more. These ones just cover more. They really do. Oops, what the heck? Why did it take that out? It does that sometimes. Maybe it won't let you have it that way. Maybe it's... See if we can and then pull this out and see if it doesn't do better. It is. What the heck? Maybe something wrong with the half. Always. had no problem. Maybe it's not the half wall keeping them there. I don't know. I started with the half wall. I wish the half walls would cut down through here, but they won't, like the diagonal here, but they won't. So that's what we get. I'd rather do that. These are just like extra shield pieces sticking out there to help just in case. And they end right on the very edge of where your guns would be firing up through. So there we go. Just for kicks, just to see what the weight would be if you put those out. We have armor doubled up down both sides. And you can do the same down the center if we have the pieces, but I'm going to throw 5 more cannons down in here just to see what the weight is. And I know you normally would have to space them out or whatever, but we don't have to do that in this server, so maybe you can't fit 6. Maybe unofficial, in order to fit 6, you're going to have a whole lot more room. And that might be the case. Maybe it would be better to just run medium. Mediums can be run stacked on top of each other, pretty much. Just, you know, I would move these over if you're going to do that as a door option, you know. Just move it over 1, put it right here. These right here are 2 back from the hole back there in the front. And then go 3 back and you drop these in right here. And they attach to this floor, which is still relevant, and then you can pull that right out. You can pull this brace out, you can pull that out. Okay, so weight is 9,900. So we are just under 10,000 pounds with those cannons on there. They do add quite a bit more weight. 600, 648, 840 more pounds. Plus we finished up a lot of the front. The inside is not finished. I really don't know how many more pieces we have left. But I could run the front that way. Let's see if we can do... I I would probably put more bracing in here. Here. For me, normally, like every few. That's 1, 2, 3 brace. That'd be 1, 2, 3 brace. 1, 2, 3 brace. You know, something like that. I'll probably leave it like that. Just because if this one gets taken out, those are not going to drop off. If this one gets taken off, these are not going to drop off because they're connected on 2 sides. If that one gets taken out, if that one gets... See, that spacing right there works. Actually, every 4 works. Because the one next to it, if it gets taken out, it's not going to drop off. And that's what you want. So that spacing right there works. So it's 3, 4, 4. So we can do that over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can drop one more right here. That should probably be braced right there, because if you lose like this one, you could... Nope, actually it's okay because they're joint up top, so you don't need any more braces on those or that other area. So there, I mean, there you go. You have your base, you have your extra armor all the way around the sides, tripled up in the rear end. And... you know, you have... I think you have a few more pieces left that you can monkey around with the front end. Still got to put your door in, but we know that. You could probably drop a few more cabinets. You're probably going to have a few pieces. It sucks that every swivel gun you drop down takes 2 pieces, because you got to drop down, unless you put it on the rail, which we don't really see anyways. Doors. I have doors. Again, this is preliminary. This is not permanent. This was only, it was trash. I was like, what the heck, 5.1%? These ones, I was like, yeah. So I have legendaries here, 168. So that'll be nice. That'll be over 6,000 damage or so. I don't know how much, but 68%. 4,000. Times 1.68. There it is, 6,700. Those doors are going to have 6,700 HP. These ones, not that one. There's still building to be done inside. And I thought about reinforcing this. I thought about like putting another like half wall here, like that, but I was concerned that I probably could. I don't think that cannon's gonna hit. We probably should verify. I was concerned that something might hit there. Let's go over here, drop down, alright, mount it, reload it, and let's blow a hole in the castle. Okay, see, it's hitting right there. But what is it hitting? Is it hitting that brace I just put up? It probably is, isn't it? And that's why I didn't reinforce the armor there. Because it is hitting that brace. You have to go here, higher. Come on, come on. Come on. That's where you have to come, right there. Right there. In order to get over, which is quite a bit higher, I think, than the rear end of the ship, and so I didn't run double armor there for that very reason. And there is still more to do here inside, but you have the entire inside of your ship to do it with, and you are at 9,900 pounds. 9,900 pounds. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, you're at 9,900 pounds with the gun ports wide open with 18 large cannons on board. And so if you have to spend, well shoot, I'd probably run it to 10 too. If you have to spend 20 levels on weight, and then you can put the other, you know, whatever's remainder on crew, adjust your counts with crew and cannons accordingly, you know, you could do it. This could be run unofficial. We may potentially make a different change on this one over here. It's kind of hard because I've already put gun points on it. They have over 10,000 HP. I would like to run an all heavy cannon build, which means moving the heavies up here on the deck. And I may do that. I'm just trying to, I thought about maybe running angles like this here, run like a 45, maybe like this, so that the reason you do that is because you turn your ship like a dial when you're approaching your target. I'll come here and zoom out. Okay, when you're approaching your target, you come in off like the starboard side, and boom, you fire 6, okay, or however many you can fit. Maybe you can only fit 4, whatever. Boom, you fire 4, you turn to the right. Boom, you fire your fronts, you turn to the right. Boom, you fire your next. You get 3 quick recession shots very fast right in the front end of your ship. Now the downside to that obviously is your rear is only going to have your rear cannons. You're not going to get the full range like you would with medium cannons. However, you're going to be doing more damage with your large, and you can fire a whole lot farther. So you could take 3 quick recession shots all from your front end. If you have them face like this, 45, even 30 degrees. Pop, swivel your ship, pop, pop, right? And so I would probably run 6. I would probably run, or maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 7, we'll see. And have them at like a 30-degree mark like this. And then fire them, rotate your ship, fire them, rotate your ship, fire them. And if, I don't know, depending on the weight of your ship or whatever, you might be able to run some more back here. So you'd pretty much have 2 sets of cannons here. These 3 right here, 1, 2, 3, you could set them, maybe only fit 5, right? And then maybe these, maybe you have 3 back here, and so they're faced back here like a 30-degree. And so what you would end up with is, right now we have 18 large and we have 12 medium in the bottom, which is a total of 30 cannons on this brig. But if you run it like I was just saying, like maybe 5 front, 5 front right, 5 front left, that's 15 cannons across your front end. And do the same in the rear, that's 30 cannons. Okay, pull the bottoms off the bottom of your ship. Pull these ones off. Don't even run your mediums. And then you can swivel your whole ship like a dial. And whatever side your ship is on, you're going to be able to fire 5 large cannons. So that when you're done, if you spin a whole circle, boom, 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 30 cannons going off.